Amid the violent waves of the Persian Gulf, a vast industrial system valued at an estimated $60 billion continues to operate under intense global pressure and long-standing international sanctions. At first glance, it looks like just another offshore operation. But beneath the surface, this is something far more complex. Not just an energy network, but a system shaped by restriction, adaptation, and survival. At the center of it all lies Karg Island, widely recognized as one of the most critical hubs in Iran's oil infrastructure. From here, vast quantities of crude oil are processed and prepared for export, even as layers of geopolitical tension surround it. Over the years, multiple efforts have been made to limit or contain this flow, yet it has never fully stopped. Instead, it has evolved into something harder to track, less and more difficult to fully understand. Across these waters, analysts often describe a high-stakes environment where visibility is limited, risks are constant, and every movement carries consequences. Because in this part of the world, what remains unseen is just as powerful as what is visible. Extracting oil from beneath the ocean floor is one of the most demanding engineering challenges on Earth. Thousands of meters below the seabed, immense geological pressure compresses layers of rock that have formed over millions of years. To reach these reserves, advanced drilling systems are deployed, often equipped with reinforced diamond-tipped drill heads designed to cut through dense formations. Each movement must be precise, each calculation exact, because even a minor error at this depth can trigger system-wide failure. Once the reservoir is accessed, the challenge shifts. Crude oil hot, dense, and chemically unstable must be brought to the surface through a carefully controlled network of pipes, valves, and pressure systems. At the processing stage, complex separation units remove gas, water, and impurities. Stabilization systems ensure that the crude can be stored and transported safely. In environments shaped by long-term restrictions, much of this infrastructure is believed to rely on domestic engineering solutions, built, maintained, and continuously adapted under pressure. There are no easy replacements, no external supply chains to rely on. Every component becomes critical, and every system must operate continuously, 24 hours a day, without interruption. Because in this environment, downtime is not just expensive, it is unacceptable. As night falls over the region, maritime activity enters a different phase. Large tankers begin to move slowly and deliberately across routes that are not always fully transparent. Some of these vessels have been described in various reports as part of so-called shadow fleets, ships that may operate under complex ownership structures, unclear registration, or limited tracking visibility. In certain cases, analysts suggest that standard tracking systems, such as AIS, may be reduced, disabled, or manipulated, making real-time monitoring significantly more difficult. Navigation becomes a matter of experience and timing. Positioning must be exact, because even a slight miscalculation in these crowded waters can result in serious incidents. One of the most sensitive operations is ship-to-ship transfer, conducted in open waters, sometimes under low visibility conditions. Crude oil is transferred between vessels to alter supply routes or obscure origin points. These operations are not inherently illegal, but in certain contexts, they have been associated with regulatory challenges and enforcement concerns. They are also high risk. Environmental hazards, mechanical failure, and human error all remain constant threats. Meanwhile, coast guards, maritime authorities, and international monitoring agencies continue to track activity using a combination of satellite data, patrol systems, and intelligence networks. It is a continuous game of detection and avoidance, one that plays out silently across thousands of kilometers of open sea. Far above the Earth, advanced satellite systems scan the oceans in near real time. Using thermal imaging, radar, and pattern analysis, these systems can detect anomalies that are invisible to the human eye. A vessel's heat signature.
Look at the heat signature on the southern route. That is not a commercial
its
vessel.
Speed and displacement.
Confirmed. Get me satellite imagery now.
All of it can be analyzed. Artificial intelligence plays a growing role, processing massive volumes of data to identify irregular behavior across global shipping networks. But as detection technology evolves, so do the methods designed to counter it. Some reports suggest that vessels may attempt to reduce their visibility through physical modifications, altered identification data, or operational tactics intended to complicate tracking. In certain cases, signal interference or data inconsistencies have also been observed, though their origins are often difficult to verify conclusively. Experts describe this as an ongoing technological competition, a cycle of adaptation where each new system is met with new responses. At the same time, international monitoring continues to expand with increased cooperation between agencies, improved satellite coverage, and more advanced analytical tools. It is not a one-sided system. It is a dynamic balance constantly shifting, constantly evolving. Beyond the ocean, the impact of these operations extends into global markets, where energy demand remains one of the most powerful drivers of international trade. In fast-growing economies, the need for stable and affordable fuel often outweighs other considerations. In this environment, discounted oil, particularly when offered through indirect or less transparent channels, can become highly attractive. Reports have suggested that such transactions may involve multiple intermediaries, complex logistics networks, and alternative financial arrangements. Payments may pass through layered systems, making them difficult to trace with complete clarity. In some cases, non-traditional methods of exchange have also been documented. At the same time, financial institutions, regulators, and international bodies continue efforts to monitor transactions, enforce sanctions, and maintain oversight. This creates a system defined by tension between enforcement and adaptation, between regulation and demand, or a system where no single actor fully controls the outcome. As the sun sets once again over the Persian Gulf, the system continues to operate. Pipelines flow, ships move, markets respond. Because at its core, this entire network is driven by a simple and persistent reality. Global energy demand does not disappear. And where demand exists, supply will continue to find pathways, whether visible or not. What emerges is not a simple narrative of conflict or control, but a complex intersection of engineering, economics, and geopolitics. A system shaped not only by restriction, but by resilience. According to many analysts, networks like this have adapted over time, becoming more flexible, more decentralized, and more difficult to fully contain. In the end, this is not just a story about oil. It is a reflection of a world still deeply dependent on the resources beneath its surface. A system where technology, necessity, and global demand are tightly intertwined. And as long as that dependency remains, the flow will continue.